What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Massive Brain Podcast. This is our third episode, and we have a special guest, Sam's friend Aaron. Would you like to say hello to the podcast? Oh, is well prepared.
I'm on a schedule here.
Yes, he's only going to be here for a few minutes, like 8
He's
minutes.
making a guest appearance. The legendary Aaron.
And Aaron actually had a special request on what to discuss. He said, what was it? The rise of China in the past few decades?
As a superpower.
Okay, so would you like to talk about China's neocolonialism? Like their influence in foreign countries?
Or we could talk about the foreign intervention of Britain and other Western countries.
Ooh, like opium-related wars? Like the Opium Wars? Or is that too far back?
No, I mean, I think
that's good.
Okay, sure. Let's go over the Opium Wars.
No, that's fine.
Okay, sure. What do you want to discuss specifically about the Opium Wars?
We could talk.
Let's just crap on Britain for like 15 minutes. Britain's trash. If you're British, stop watching right now, please.
But keep subscribed.
Yeah, but keep subscribed. Yeah, exactly. We'll happily profit off of you. But yeah, in all seriousness, this is a pretty messed up point in Chinese history when the Opium Wars began. Obviously, waged over the simple fact that British wanted to exploit the Chinese.
Any insights into the situation? Do you have any?
I read a book about this last year. My memory's a bit fuzzy, but not about the Opium conflict, but about postmodern China. And the whole thing is that for the pursuit of political stability, it wasn't just because of the Western nations that China initially had to adopt a communist system. It wasn't out of necessity, but it was out of opportunity.
What's your opinion about
internal pressures as well?
Internal and external.
Yes, both internal and external.
But what's your opinion about the communist system in China?
Communist system.
Do you think it's effective? Do you think it is? In your opinion?
Well, what's the alternative?
There's a few things wrong with that question. That's okay. First of all, wait, what was the exact question? What did you just say there?
Do you think the communist system is effective in China?
How do you define effective? First of all,
like, is it Is it helping them to establish themselves as a modern superpower?
It's just the fact that it did. It's just the fact that it did. Deng Xiaoping had a massive thing to do with it, to be fair, and he was a reformist. So, Aaron, you probably have a bigger brain in terms of this subject than me. So
a massive brain.
Yes, a massive brain. Well said, Sam. Yeah. So, what do you know about Do you know anything about Deng Xiaoping and his reformist policies, or is that?
It's economic reform. I don't know any exacts, but I know that he stepped in as chairman somewhere around after the Maoist era.
Okay.
And it was like de-Stalinization. Well, no, to a lesser extent, but he had to deal with the fallout of the failure of the Cultural Revolution and the Great Leap Forward, which was hard.
Yes,
but he managed to salvage China into a modern economic superpower.
And how do you think he did that?
Through adopting more capitalist policies, because
they had this capitalism is what improved. Sorry. No, I was just going to say, do you think capitalism is what solved issues? Oh no, my question was just, do you think capitalism is this one of the main reasons as to why China is where it is now?
Well, more of a focus on market forces, a market-driven economy. Sure, yeah.
Would you argue that they are state capitalists, or would you argue that they truly are socialists with Chinese characteristics?
I would say socialism with Chinese characteristics entails
that's fair.
The partial free market that they have.
So you would disagree with me calling them state capitalists?
You can call them whatever you want.
Okay, that's fair enough. Okay, so what was Sam's original question? Let's jump back to that.
About the communism in China. So going back to the Maoist era, do you think that if that was still going on today, would that?
Oh, I mean, it wouldn't be.
Yeah. If it was though, like. What do you think the effect on the rest of the world would be? Do you think countries like around China would also be other countries would be communist as well? Like, say someone else had adopted Mao's.
I will answer after Aaron goes. Yeah, go on.
So you're saying if the I think the perpetuation of this Chinese communism, Maoist communism, is probably not going to lead to a similar China that we see today.
Yeah.
I don't know how, because
but you think
China was on the way to economic ruin throughout the Maoist era.
But do you think yeah. So if they didn't switch to the capitalism to change, if they kept going with communism, you said that they would be ruined economically, pretty much.
Well, they still have the population and they have the population, they have the manpower to be a strong economic force, but without this free market and without these capitalist elements, China, I feel like it would be subjugated more by other countries instead of being a superpower on its own.
Would you not also agree, though, that since obviously China is a capitalist and Mao was a communist and China was communist back then, what about the whole communism disregards all state in that? Do you think that would have a modern impact on your decision that their economy would be failing when they would pretty much like abandon all forms of currency because that's what communism dictates? Do you still?
Well,
does that change your mind at all?
I'm pretty staunch on the fact that there would be abundant failure if the Maoist policies were kept.
Why is that?
Because they were economically infeasible.
Oh, okay.
And the Cultural Revolution, the Great Leap Forward, they persecuted intellectuals. They did focus on a rapid industrialization, but it wasn't done under
overproduction was also an issue. Yeah,
they did a really rushed. It's a really rushed process.
It was an ambitious project. I don't think it was ever feasible yet. I think you're correct there. What are your opinions on the culling of landlords at the beginning? Do you agree or disagree with that?
Oh, you mean the fight against the bourgeois?
The bourgeoisie, yeah.
Well, it was largely an atrocity.
You think so? Okay. Mm-hmm. You think that was a bad thing that they?
Yes, it was a bad thing that they killed a lot of landlords.
What about the fact that they were practically feudalist at that point, and they held a lot of their peasants as hostage?
Well, I can say that.
Like,
they don't deserve death because at that point in the feudal, they were still controlled by the government of China at that time, the dynasty.
At that point, though, they had private armies. Landlords in China had private armies, though, and they used them to control their huge masses of peasants that worked on their fields. Do you not think that's a bit of an issue? And that once they used those private armies in the war, they wouldn't have crushed the peasants. So don't you think the peasants should have fought back?
When you talk about landlords, you have to. It's not just one ubiquitous group of landlords that hold that much power. If you're talking about all those, all the major landlords, then maybe I don't think they deserve to be killed, but they deserve to see justice. But if you're talking about landlords as a general, a lot of innocent people were also caught up in his culling.
Love and Struggle in Mao's Ethic was a really good book on this, and the author is a very much a liberal, so disagrees with me on so many points. But it was a very objective book and extremely insightful. And what I took from that book was that actually also William Hinton's book Fan Shen went into some detail about this. There were in the area he studied, landlords would happily kill with impunity, tax the peasants into starvation. They would take wives and daughters of the peasants if they didn't have enough food to give up. Again, the private armies I referenced earlier. Does that change your mind at all, or still?
Mm-hmm. Well,
slightly, or
not really.
Still?
Well, okay. Now you've enlightened me to the fact that there's a difference between all the rich and powerful landlords and the common landlord who maybe owned a family farm or.
Landlords in the Maoist China were defined as the major ones. So the only landlords killed were major ones.
Okay. I don't know about that, but
that's fair enough.
Because there are tales of landlords in Maoist China just small people owning land, maybe having a few workers, and they were also caught up in all the further revolutionary fervor.
When you say owning a few workers, do you mean owning, or do you mean like
a few workers?
Okay.
No, wait, what did I say? Earning?
You said owning, yeah.
Owning. Oh no.
No, you're right.
No, but employing.
Since it wasn't a government-sponsored attack on the landlords, do you not think that it's at all justified? Since it was an act mainly followed through by the peasants, it was a self-organized punishment, you could call it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would say you can't really say that the government had that Mao and the Maoist regime had no part in facilitating the.
I have a few. Yeah, I have a few documents of the CPC. What's the word? Denouncing the attacks on land.
Denouncing the attacks.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would say that they did probably have some motives to. Although at face value, although maybe superficially they would condemn it. Maybe they also recognized that it was a bit of an overreaction, and that a lot of innocent and undeserving people were also caught up in that.
Do you have any opinions on Cuba? Cuban revolutions, or?
I'm no expert, but.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Too much. Because I was just going to go into Che Guevara and how the same thing happened to him. He was put in charge of handling trial and then sentencing, and then a bunch of local riots sprung up and innocent people were murdered, and then he was put at the center of all of it as if it was his idea. But yeah, I get what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much, to summarize, your view of Mao and Mao's leadership is majority negative, you'd say?
I would say he made some really unwise policies that resulted in that resulted in the stunting of China as a intellectual power, intellectual, political. Well, what am I talking about? Economic power.
Okay, that's fair enough.
I said intellectual because I was thinking of during the Cultural Revolution, how
yes,
and
what about your? Do you have any opinions on his theory on guerrilla warfare and how he changed, I'd say, the dynamics of warfare forever?
No.
he invented what, I guess a military scholar or an academic would call fourth generational warfare. Have you heard of that?
No.
Oh, okay, fair enough. So, okay, I guess we can.
What is that about?
But you do know about the guerrilla warfare, though.
Not too much.
From the Vietnam War.
No, this wasn't the Vietnam War. This was China.
I think this was far before.
The principles are similar.
Carried on. The principles did carry on, but he invented fourth generation.
Oh, you mean against the struggle against the Nationalist Party?
Yes.
Oh, and the Japanese? Okay.
Sorry, I didn't hear.
And the Japanese.
What do you mean? And the Japanese?
The guerrilla warfare.
Oh yes. Sorry, I missed that entire point.
I don't know. I haven't. I don't know about these things.
That's fair enough.
Much of a political, researcher. I don't know. Whatever.
What do you think of the famines and all that? The 20 to 25 million people who were killed in the famines.
It was largely because of inefficient and state-sponsored.
What year was that in?
Farming initiative.
Oh, multiple different famines, mainly caused by the Great Cold. I'd also.
Oh, have you heard about Mao's 5 Pest?
Sorry, what?
Have you heard of Mao's 5 Pest campaign? 5 Pest.
Mao's what?
5 Pest.
Oh, I didn't hear you. No, I haven't.
Okay. Well, basically, he said.
Isn't it 4 pests? The
4 or 5, something like
Yeah.
But, one of his pests was the sparrow, and the sparrow was actually responsible for helping the farmers kill off vermin and insects feeding on their crops. And so, because Mao introduced that initiative, and the farmers would use pots and pans to shoo away the sparrows and leave them to starve in the air. It means that in fact their crop suffers.
So his campaign.
Yeah, it's like this is kind of a microcosm of how his policies were unwise and would fueled mostly by.
Are you certain it was down to him? Sorry,
not down to him.
Was that his decision? Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't know.
Maybe he had some policy makers alongside with him, but
yeah.
I'm curious. How did he utilize the 5 or 4? I think it's 5. 5 pests.
It's 4 pests. I just looked it up.
4 pests into the into a campaign. How did he utilize that?
No, he just announced it because he wanted to be seen as.
Yeah, he created a massive ecological imbalance. It was so messed up. Yeah, it was extremely messed up.
And what were the consequences?
Oh, I just said ecological imbalance. One of the main causes of the Great Chinese Famine, in which millions died.
Mm.
I'm reading it right now, actually. Hold on. In 1960, Mao Zedong ended the campaign against sparrows and redirected the fourth focus to bedbugs. So he got angry at something else that time. Good on him.
I think by that time he realized that his campaign against sparrows was actually destroying the ecosystem.
Really? It's as if sparrows aren't the coolest. Yeah. Would you call the famine murder? Like, would you classify it as murder?
No.
It depends. It depends.
Oh, okay.
Because if the government could supply food to the people in the famine, then you could kind of consider it as murder because they have the ability to help the people that are dying. But if they don't actually, if the whole country is in a famine, then that's
also
not murder.
Intent. Intent is also a major part.
Yeah, the intent.
There's no clear-cut evidence that he had.
How do you feel about that, Aaron?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't think he intended for millions of people to die. That wouldn't be good for his revolution. But
so many people died because of him, though.
So would you have preferred the nationalist in power? Would you have preferred the nationalists in power?
They're the same.
Wait, sorry, I didn't hear that. Did you say
I'd say they're largely the same, even though they do have these differing principles. I think in
the
right-wing
nationalists and the left-wing communists.
So was the famine referred to as the Great Leap? Is that what it was referred to?
No, the Great Leap Forward was the campaign he enlisted to actually move forward, yeah.
I just looked up, there was between 18 and 45 million deaths.
Yeah.
And everyone, I didn't even know that. Everyone's focused about all the deaths in wars. Yeah, honestly, some people probably know this, but
yeah, it's not.
Everyone's focused about the war deaths. When events happen, natural disasters or terrorist attacks. But no, I don't think that many people really focus on the amount of people that actually die in these famines. To be honest, or just in these campaigns.
Do you not think it was also a much better change, the communists, in comparison to their pre-industrial society? Before the colonial, while the colonists.
Are you saying to communist or from communist?
Wait, what are you talking about? Are you saying that?
No, I'm asking whether you think that the powers prior to the communists were better, or
no, the dynastic system was very bad. But I would say that I would prefer that the Nationalist Party did keep in power. But at the time at which the communists ran, they were already losing their grip on the provinces, and so maybe there had to be another force to come in and seize power to promote unity and this overall national stability. Because a big problem in China at the time was these regional warlords owning land and having their private armies, like you said.
Anything else, Sam? Do you have any questions?
Well, how about we just finish with I just looked this up, some interesting statistics, some fun facts about China. Aaron, let's see if you know any of them.
Nice.
Okay. Well, China is the 3rd largest country in the world. Did you know this?
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to check something. I'll talk to you about it later if you want.
47% of their population live in urban areas.
Ooh, damn. Concentrated.
In 2003, China became the 3rd country to successfully send someone to space.
Nice. Good on them.
The Great Wall of China is the largest man-made structure in the world, stretching 8,850 kilometers.
Nice.
Have you been there, Aaron, before?
Yes, I've been there.
Yeah, it's so sick.
Did you attempt to walk it?
Not the whole thing, obviously.
Yeah, no, he definitely did. He definitely walked the entire length.
I'm a marathon.
I heard that it can be seen from space.
No, it's a myth. It's a myth.
No?
No, it cannot be.
Yeah, because it would be more realistic if you could see it from space if it was taller than if it was longer, right?
What?
you'd think you'd be able to see it from space if the structure was taller rather than like vertically taller rather than horizontally.
To the unaided eye, it's impossible to see. But if you're talking about if it was the same length but height-wise, then yes, you'd definitely be able to see it. Yeah, it'd reach out of orbit if it was standing up, far out of orbit. But yeah, it's 100%. You cannot see it without an aid for your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Saying like a camera or like a telescope, anything like that.
And to finish off, I think let's ask some would you rather questions for Aaron to have a go at. Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta run in 2 minutes, so.
Yeah.
That's okay. It's the end of Aaron's his showing on our podcast, and we appreciate you being on, Aaron.
Yes, we do. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Well, thanks for inviting me.
All good. Start with a very easy one. Would you rather know when or how you're going to die?
I would say when.
I say easy, but when?
I
would. Yeah. I think when as well. Because
knowing how you're gonna die it's a very interesting question. I mean,
it could happen any time though.
Yeah, exactly.
And you'd always be on alert for the thing though. But when anything could happen.
And then it depends on whether or not it's completely deterministic. Otherwise, the cause of death might be constantly shifting if you're deliberately going to change your lifestyle to stop that.
Would you rather
know when,
Would you rather be like an average guy in 2,000 years, or be a king of a large country 10,000 years ago? So like you have a lot more power 10,000 years ago, or just be an average person.
10,000 years ago, a king.
You'd want to be the king, really?
Mm-hmm.
Not an average bloke. So what do you think? Do you think we'll still be around 2,000 years later? Like that's a whole other discussion. But just briefly.
Wait, in the next 2,000 years, we'll be in like 2,000 years time. Will we be around? Was that your question?
Yeah.
No.
You don't think so?
No.
What do you think?
Human civilization has been around for a lot more than 2,000 years. So I would say, and also our technological advancements have also.
But do you think we'll be around for the 2,000 years?
Climate change, or what do you mean as a civilization?
As a species.
I think so. I mean, there are a lot of pessimists that say, well, the world is going to be destroyed in some nuclear Armageddon or something.
Oh, I don't think that's true.
So what do you think will be the cause of?
I reckon natural causes, man-made causes, I should say, such as climate change. Do you think that we'd become multiplanetary? Do you
so? No. We won't have enough time. I don't think.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of projects already in place, like the SpaceX Starship, for example.
I know, but I just don't.
No, definitely within the solar system.
You reckon? I reckon. What do you think will happen? What are your predictions for Europa? You know Europa, Moon?
Mm-hmm.
Do you reckon there's life on there?
No.
Do you reckon there's life on Venus?
No.
Did you hear about the phosphine found in Venus's atmosphere?
No.
No, sorry.
Phosphine is only created when microbes are alive, which indicates life.
Yeah. But do you think that before the Earth was created, just way before, there was another Earth in this, or just another planet with life in this exact area, with like a much more advanced population than ours now? Like, do you think there was ever? And then their sun exploded, destroying their planet, and then a new star exploded, combining with the gases and so on, creating another Earth. Do you think that there was another civilization like us?
Sam, that sounds like a bit of a far-fetched.
Just very briefly.
It's too specific to be true, but I think I kind of know what you're getting at. If there was another advanced civilization that existed before us as humans.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You don't think
I don't know why you're asking us, Sam.
It's interesting to think about. In a way, just to know if you think there was another human civilization or just another alive civilization.
Well, we don't even know if Yeah, we don't know.
How do we know if we're not even in a simulation right now? This could all be fake.
That's a bit ridiculous. That's such a primitive way of thinking, in my opinion.
I think about us being in a simulation.
Yeah, just the idea, because it's such a human idea. The entire concept of the simulation is in our heads. Like, if we were in a simulation, it'd be far more complex than we could possibly comprehend. So we wouldn't even have. No, I just don't think that's feasible at all.
Okay, and on that note, I think
it's my departure.
Aaron needs to depart, and I think we've been going for a long time as well. So
okay, well, thank you for having me. It's an enlightening conversation.
He has one.
I wish I could have been better prepared, but
no, it's fine. It's fine.
You did a very good job. Very massive brain, Aaron.
Yes.
No, not really. Okay, see you guys.
Thank you for joining us, Aaron.
Thank you very much. And I think that's it for us as well. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate it. And
join the Discord, link in description.
Exactly. And have a good day. Stay massive brained.
Bye, guys.
See ya.